Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before we get started, I would not be talking about all women, even though it feels like it. If it feels like I'm talking about you, you need to check yourself because words only hurt whenever they are true. You're looking for the music to the intro and you want the link to the second channel, both are below in the description. But can you do me a favor, hit the notifications button and follow me on Instagram right now. All right, guys, today's video is going to be another video of a series that I'm going to call A Man is a Most Attractive. All right, every week I'm going to drop a video and it's going to be explaining what makes a man attractive. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when I do videos like that, I get good views, but I also get great feedback from guys. All right, a lot of feedbacks. I get a lot of emails with guys start to tell me their stories on how they feel like they were ugly, they changed certain things in their life and they started to become attractive. Well, today, part of that series, I'm going to be going over another part of life that makes a man attractive. And today I'm going to be talking about your inner spirit. All right, we're going to remove all the physicality out of it. When I say physicality, I mean materialistic things. We're going to remove money. We're going to remove nice cars, nice hairdo, nice haircut, designer clothes. We're going to remove that. And today we're going to be talking about a man is attractive when nobody can figure him out. All right? I always tell you guys, silence is power. Not only is it power towards women, but it's also powerful towards men. You have to realize, as a man, you will be judged off the respect that other guys give you. You have to realize that. When you get around other men and you're with women, women are gonna always try to figure out which one of these guys they're actually looking up to. Who's the head alpha when they walk in the room? When certain guys walk in the room, guys start to act different. It's been plenty of guys, like when you're younger and you're in high school and you go to school dances and you go to parties, you start to think that you the man until another guy walks into the room and you're like, oh man, there go the guy right there. He just may get all the girls we trying to flirt with. He may get the girls that I want. Man, I know she gonna like him. Why is he here? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's a certain type of aura that a man must have that gains respect to other men that makes him attractive to women. This is why a lot of men, when you get around other guys, it's best to not be combative. Because one thing about men, you're going to learn this trend. Most guys will get along until a woman gets involved. You can take 20 to 1,000 guys and put them in the same place at the same time, right? If there's no women in there, all of those guys will get along, talk to each other logically, and talk to each other respectfully, and everything will go good. But the more women that you put inside the same spot, the more of a cat fight you're going to have. These are proven facts. Groups of women are way more vicious than groups of men. Why? Because a man's mind is more settled. So understand that when you get around women and you start to act emotional like a woman, especially when other guys come around, then guess what? Your aura is going to change. One thing about being silent and only speaking whenever spoken, and then when you do speak, you speak with a lot of power, you hold the power. One thing about life, Nas said it the best. People fear what they don't understand. They hate what they can't conquer. It's a theory of man that became a monster. See, the more you start talking out of your mouth, the less mysterious you are to people. Not just women, but to men as well. You have to understand, everybody seeks curiosity of what they don't understand. But until they learn more about you, you maintain the power. When was the last time people just randomly picked arguments with random people? They don't. because they don't know what to say to a random person. But if you take two best friends, put them in a room, and then put a female there, I guarantee you those two guys find something to argue about. And it's the same thing with women. The more you talk, the more arguments you're going to be in. The less you talk, the less arguments you're going to be in, and the more power you're going to have. So when it comes to the inner attractiveness of a man, you guys have to learn to be quiet and let your eyes listen. As you let your eyes listen, that allows you to pick up on the different personalities inside the room. And one thing that you're going to notice about different personalities in the room, most people in general will have the same personality. They just may have a different outlook of life. But when you learn to be quiet, you will notice that. But that's going to make you attractive on the end because it's going to make you look like a leader. Why is it going to make you look like a leader? Because you feel like the little things that they're talking and saying for attention is powerless. You have to understand, a weak person will talk all day. Why? Because a weak person is trying to convince you of who they are. You have to realize that. A weak person like to throw accomplishments into things. A weak person like to mention subjects for the moment that don't matter, which goes back to accomplishments. You will notice a weak person love to tell you their value, right? So you can take a person who has all the accomplishments, all the awards, all the things that say you're an alpha male, you're accomplished, you have all the money, you have all of this, and you have all of that, right? That's supposed to say your status is high and powerful. But you lose all the power the moment you start telling people your accomplishments. They start to look at you differently. They start to look at you like you're arrogant. If somebody comes around you and they're constantly saying, hey man, I'm this man, I'm that man, and you know what I'm saying, I'm this man, I'm that, when it comes to money, I'm this and that, look at that over there, this, that. All of it may be true, but you don't want to be around that person. You don't want to follow that person because their arrogance makes them look weak. But let's say you get around a person that don't mention all of that. He doesn't mention his status, and you find out about his status without him mentioning that status. You're going to give him the power. Why are you going to give him the power? Because he has nothing to prove, even though he has the status. The humble people will always maintain the power because the audience says, why isn't this person bragging and boasting and seeking attention for status? That's a powerful thing. It makes a person powerful mentally when you have nothing to prove. Why? Because the average person is always trying to prove to you that there's something that they're not. But the more they talk, the weaker they look, the more power they give up. You have to understand, for you to have power, you have to be able to get a leader to follow you. You're not a leader until a leader can follow you, because people can be leaders in their own right. You got a group of people out here right now that are weak, that are being led by sheep. It's a sheep leading sheep. But then when they get around real alpha people, that leader who is a leader of sheep can lose all of his followers to a real person. Prime example, look at 50 Cent and Ja Rule. How Ja Rule was a gangster, he singed, he did all this, but when he got in a real beef with 50 Cent, and 50 Cent showed you that he was a real street dude, and that he's really been shot 9 times, and that he's really been through the trenches, it made Ja Rule look like he wasn't a gangster at all, and Ja Rule's career just vanished. You guys remember that back in the day with the 50 Cent and Ja Rule beef? 50 Cent destroyed his career overnight. Why? Because of the aura. Because of the aura that he possessed. His followers were weak. Ja Rule wasn't the man that he was supposed to be. So when they got around somebody that's real, it made him look even weaker. It's the same thing with real life. The more you're a weak person and you're trying to talk, your alphaness into people. You're trying to talk your leadership into people by naming your accomplishments or trying to prove something to somebody. The less power you have, even if you're more powerful than them, because nobody wants to follow an arrogant person. Arrogance is a sign of beta, and it's a sign of weakness. Most of those people find themselves alone. You want to be attractive in today's world, you have to be quiet, and you have to be making moves. Don't get out here trying to convince the world of nothing. You're going to lose every single time. Learn to just be quiet. And if you got something to say, keep it to yourself. Stop trying to prove to people who you are, what you are. Nobody care what you did with your life. Too many of you guys coming in the comments, putting all this stuff in the comments. Hey, talking about your life. Don't nobody care. Chat rooms don't care no more. Nobody cares about that anymore. We're going into a world where everyone's a narcissist, and if you don't agree with what they agree with, then they'll unfollow you, they'll try to cancel you, they'll throw you underneath the bus. We have a bot mindset of a reality. Everyone's being controlled by media. Look at what's going on across the pond, and the guy who's losing across the pond feels the need to show up at the Grammys. I don't understand that when you have people in your country that are losing. You have to understand, guys, outside of woman's nature and outside of a man becoming attractive, for you to balance out both sides of the world, you have to look at life from every angle. All right, this is Anthony Spade. Hopefully you guys are able to get the message behind the video. Comment, like, subscribe to both of my channels. Hasta la vista.